What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Profanatica, entitled Rotting Incarnation of God. This is released on Season of Mist. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they were originally based out of New York, but are now based out of Connecticut. And the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, perverse, blasphemous style of black metal. Yeah. I'm not going to really go on too much of a tangent about Profanatica because I've talked about this band lots and lots of times throughout the years on this channel, but to just reiterate for those who may happen to be unfamiliar with them, I would consider them to be one of the most important hallmark legacy bands when it comes to US black metal. This band has made a very, very huge, worthwhile impact in black metal with their music, with their style, with their imagery, with their sounds. It's just something very, very memorable, and I think this band has been making that statement well known and proud for almost 3 decades now. It's really, really an awesome institution. From the early demos and EPs this band has put out to the full-length material that we got from them in the early to mid-2000s, just some really, really awesome stuff. I mean, I still would consider an album like Disgusting Blasphemies Against God the best material this band has ever done in terms of just overall crudeness, nastiness, ugliness. That album is a gold standard. And of course, if you have the Enemy of Virtue compilations, you already are familiar with all of the EP, demo, and split material this band has ever done. Absolutely important classic stuff. But throughout the last several years, Profanatica has undergone somewhat of a major facelift. Of course, you have the main man behind this project, Paul Ledney, doing the vocals and drums, but he's recruited a brand new sort of lineup, a new guitarist, a new bassist, basically giving this band a big, huge refreshing. And of course, it's shown in later years that Profanatica has really made an impact playing live shows. They sound better than ever. They sound more deadlier than ever. And of course, last year we got a glimpse of what was going to be coming from this new, refreshed Profanatica lineup with the Altar of the Virgin Horror EP. Everything about that EP was sick. From the Chris Moyen artwork design, to the musicianship, to the overall sound and quality of that release, it showed you that there is something bigger and deadlier coming from Profanatica. And now we have the 5th full-length album from Profanatica entitled Rotting Incarnation of God. When I found out this band got signed to Season of Mist, I had a lot of different sort of feelings and emotions. For one, I'm happy that this band is on a much more prominent, bigger metal label like Season of Mist, but at the same time, I didn't know what type of sound we were going to get. Were we going to get the sound that was previously left off on Altar of the Virgin Horror, or what was going to happen? I don't know. What kind of hands were going to be taking care of a band as important as Profanatica? But now here we are with Rotting Incarnation of God. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 37 minutes in length. And after listening to this album a whole bunch of times, I can safely say that there is nothing to worry about. Profanatica's sound is deadlier and is more evil than ever before. Even some slight nods and nudges to this band's past history. It's just really something to behold here. I really had a fantastic time listening to Rotting Incarnation of God, and of course, this only further proves why Profanatica are the absolute undisputed legends of American black metal. But yeah, getting on to the music, it's typical Profanatica business as usual. You're going to get a lot of really loud, dingy, audible bass, to some really top-notch riffs and tremolo leads. Just a lot of crazy stuff to be hearing throughout this album in terms of the musicianship and the riffs and bass work. Of course, you hear it on the first couple of tracks like Liturgy of Impurity and Prayer and Eclipse, to later tracks like Sacramental Calm, Tithing Cunt, and even the track Eucharist in Ruin. Just some really, really sick guitar riffs to be heard throughout this album, and of course it maintains the classic sort of Profanatica sound. Everything sounds sick, everything is executed very well here, it sounds awesome, and of course you have that really dark, rattling bass tone that you would hear on previous Profanatica releases. You hear it here on Rotting Incarnation of God, and I think this bass tone sounds absolutely filthy. I love this bass tone, and I definitely think it suits this album very, very well here. So beefed up. When it comes to the drums, it's the typical Paul Ledney drum performance. Very heavy and a very heavy emphasis on blast beats and patterns and all that sort of stuff. When things move slow, they move slow. When things move fast, they move really fast. This guy has a very distinctive, recognizable drum style, and of course he brings that recognizable drum style to the Profanatica, this new Profanatica record, and I think it's really, really entertaining here. And speaking of Paul Ledney here, of course you can't have a Profanatica album without his really throaty, raspy, perverse sounding voice. I love Paul Ledney's vocal style here. It's so one of a kind, and it's so entertaining here, especially on this album here. Not only do you get the typical Paul Ledney rasp on a lot of these really awesome new tracks, but you get some reworked tracks in the current Profanatica style. You have songs that you're probably familiar with Profanatica, like Broken Jew or Mocked, Scourged, and Spit Upon, redone and reworked in the current new Profanatica sound. And of course these new re-editions of these songs sound a lot heavier, a lot beefier, a lot meatier, and it really, really works out well here. I would have loved to have heard more new original material, if I'm being perfectly honest, but these new re-recordings sound absolutely badass, especially on the song Broken Jew, where you hear Paul Ledney do the black ejaculation begins. That shit's so entertaining. I love that energy on that track. But as far as this whole album goes, as far as his whole vocal performance goes, it is absolutely top notch. So overall, I would say this is probably one of the best things Profanatica has done in a very long time. I mean, like I said, I still think Disgusting Blasphemies Against God is the best thing that they've ever done, but this is kind of creeping up there in terms of the fact that this is a much more well-rounded, well-executed sort of release. A lot of memorable riffs, a lot of great bass tones, sick drumming, sicker vocals, just Profanatica business as usual. And I think this is an absolutely fantastic release. If you had some sort of hesitations going into this album, I would say not to worry about that. Give this album a shot. You're going to be in fucking love with this thing. If I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would have to say Liturgy of Impurity, Prayer in Eclipse, Washed in the Blood of the Lord, Sacramental Come, Tithing Cunt, and Eucharist in Ruin. Really, really awesome stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Profanatica Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally and is available in a wide multitude of physical formats: CD, cassette tape, and vinyl. Funny little story. I heard that the tape company that was supposed to put this album, this tape out of this album originally, had some sort of issue with the lyrics or the visual content or something, so they had to delay that and get the tape made through somewhere else, which I think is funny because 30 years later Profanatica are still getting controversy in terms of their lyrical and visual content. I mean, it's whatever. You should know what you're expecting when you listen to Profanatica anyways. But anyway, this is the vinyl version that I got from Season of Mist. There you see the Paolo Girardi artwork. Really rowdy and over the top. Of course, that obviously has to be Paul right there. Really, really crazy artwork. And there you see the angel with cock. Back cover with track listings, gatefold with band member photo, and portions of lyrics from some of the songs. These are not the full lyrics, but these are just portions, which I think is a nice little touch. Credits and information, and this is on a wide multitude of vinyl colors. And of course, I got the clear vinyl. Sounds pretty good, plays pretty well. typical good quality from Season of Mist, I would say. But yeah, definitely pick up a copy of this wherever you're able to pick it up. So again, the album is Rotting Incarnation of God by Profanatica. This is released on Season of Mist. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this one a very solid 9 out of 10. Very entertaining Profanatica album. Definitely one of the best in their current lineup. If you've happened to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it and how you think it compares to previous Profanatica releases. Or any of you guys into Profanatica, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Army Hell out.